There, YouTube. I hope you guys are doing good. So I wanted to talk today about kind of what it is I will be doing, because I kind of left you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger or a part two kind of situation. So to continue off where things were, I'm going to be constantly adjusting the tripod here that I got my camera set on. That seems good, right? I mean, that seems like a good little thing. You can see a little bit of the doorway over. Ugh, okay. Alright, so something we're going to be focusing on moving forward with this channel, and as you guys may or may not have known, I've been kind of struggling with the channel name for a little bit. Like, it's been Vital Prana, it's been Vital Tarot, it's been all these different things, and eventually I want to kind of combine all the vital aspects into like different aspects of the same thing, because in a spiritual sense, a lot of the stuff is the same. It's just focusing in a different area or a slightly different area to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. For instance, having all the answers spiritually, or having them in one kind of discipline, doesn't make a lot of sense, because you can learn in the spiritual aspect, you can learn it from so many different ways. You can learn how consciousness works, how a lot of quantum physics works, how a lot of this kind of stuff operates, right? And so what I want to do is I want to break that down to be a little more scientific and a little more like experiential than sort of more, how would you put it, like not so much with like the way it would be like you just feel it, man, like, you know, you just feel it, which those people are amazing. I love those people. But for me personally, I'm someone who likes to be more scientific about things. If someone says, just believe in it because it's there, I immediately go into questioning everything about what it is I'm supposed to believe. So the way I like to teach is that questions are absolutely okay, and that should be true for anything. And if I'm talking to you guys and something makes sense, that's great. If it doesn't, also great. Because what I'm trying to say is that we're here to learn, and do not take everything I say for truth. Research, do your own kind of preliminary groundwork to see what it is that's going on. Don't take my word to be the truth for you, okay? Because that's not what I'm about. And a lot of us on the spiritual journey, we're in completely different places, right? And so I kind of want to get to a point where we can sort of unify sort of where we're coming from and what's going on. And the very first place that we can sort of focus that is feeling energy and how to tap into your own intuitive source, okay? Because listening to me or listening to other people is great, but the actual thing that we need to do is be putting into practice what we're listening to and sort of finding our own truth and focusing on our own sense of intuition, right? Having other people tell us, again, that's amazing, but having our own sense of direction makes it a lot easier. And then we're relying on ourselves and we're not relying on someone else. We're able to get the information we need in a way that's like that. So if I do work with you guys in whatever it is that we're working on together, or one-on-one sessions, or however we do that, I want to come at it from a place of, I want to be your teacher, but I never want to be your crutch, right? So I want to show you the way. I want to teach you guys what it is that I'm learning, and we can kind of have an exchange there. But I don't want you guys to ever depend on me so completely that I become a go-to for you automatically. I want you guys to be able to be like, okay, he taught me how to do this, and so I can find my own information out. That doesn't mean that I don't want to help you guys get answers. I absolutely do. Whatever seems to be going on in your life, absolutely come to me and let's get the answers. But eventually I want you to become your own source for information, where you don't have to rely on me or anyone else. You'll just have sort of an inclination. You'll have a way to know. I don't want to be, I guess the best way to put it, right, because of this energetic upgrade that we've been going through, and we've been going through a lot. I don't want to be the ibuprofen to your headaches. I want to be someone who's like the long-term solution. I want to be the herbal supplements that you take to make yourself feel better, to put you on a self-discovery kind of road. And I hope that makes sense because I'm trying to find the right metaphors, and for some reason ibuprofen and headaches, because I've been having headaches a lot these past couple weeks. And so that's kind of where that came from. But yeah, so what we will be focusing on primarily on the channel, at least for a little while, because I like to be more creative. And if you guys are anything like me, I'm somewhat creative, but not entirely there. So a lot of people get inspired, right? And that inspiration, that motivation is what gets us up in the morning. It's what gives us purpose. And for me, that comes and goes. And so I want to be able to have the liberty to take you guys on this journey with me, even though sometimes it's going to be swervy, it's going to be kind of a bumpy road sometimes. Ultimately, what I want to focus on is that we will get to where we need to go. And some of you guys may want to join me on this, some of you may not, but ultimately, this is how I want to do things. And I want to come at things with a way of looking at it with a more logical point of view, where we look at why this works, why building up psychic energy this way works, why doing things this way works better, and focus on best practices to make ourselves stronger psychically, energetically, mentally, emotionally. And that's kind of where I'm coming from, because I know in this world that a lot of us are suffering from, a lot of people that I work with are going through narcissistic relationships right now. They're going through these kind of abusive relationships, and they're shedding these layers of themselves. And I want you guys to know that you're not alone in whatever it is that you're going through, because a lot of us are going through that. And it takes a lot to go through it, especially if you're by yourself. But as soon as a community becomes involved, as soon as there's this sense of not feeling isolated, there's a sense of community, there's a sense of group mentality, there becomes this lifting weight where you're like, okay, well, I'm not alone. I can go into this and I can understand what's going on with me and focus on that, you know? And that's what I want to focus on, okay? And also, I'm going to do this here. I got these cards, okay? These are energy oracle cards, right? And these cards here are going to be something that we're going to use frequently. Again, I love the tarot, the hero's journey that the tarot goes into, and the stories, and how amazing it is and how insightful it is. I love that. But to do more, to do general readings with the tarot sometimes can be difficult for me. So what I like to do is I like to do more personalized readings. And these cards are really good at doing that. So this is going to help us define the energy. So for most people watching this, this will relate to you in some way. And I got these cards here, and they are big. They are big cards, okay? I mean, you look at that. They're huge. They're like the size of my head. No, I'm just kidding. But they're pretty big. I mean, but let's see. So cards, what is the energy that we're going to be focusing on for the next 3 days? What energy will be coming through for people watching these videos, and myself included? What energy do we need to focus on? And you set the intention whenever you're doing this. Whenever you're using cards, whenever you're trying to connect to someone psychically. It's important to clear and ground. It's also very important to take the energy and to like funnel it through. So what I mean by funneling is I want you to imagine, okay, right now, I want you to imagine a laser pointer, okay, with a little red laser that shoots out, right? And I want you to imagine a dark room, and you have that laser pointer, okay? So the laser is only lighting up a very, very, very small point on the wall, but it's illuminating it completely, right? And then you have a light bulb that when it lights up a room, it shoots light everywhere, but it lights up the room. But it's not precise, it's not an accurate form of doing that. So when we go into our psychic center, if we don't set like where we want to go or a direction for the energy to go into, then we're actually going to make it hard for us to focus on a defined solution. It's going to be very generalized information. The more we're used to pulling in energy and defining it and refining it and making it accurate, that's where we get accurate information. If we're just like, I don't know what's going on, and we're focusing that and we're putting that out, we're going to get, I don't know what's going on back with us. But if we have a defined goal of what we want to achieve, then we can make it so that we can focus on that. Together, we can focus on that. So That's what I'm doing now, and that's why you set an intention, so that way you can get the information you want back. So, we set the intention, and you don't have to do it a bunch of times. You don't have to say it over and over again. You can say it a couple times, and just realize that the universe will provide us with answers. So I'm going to draw 3 cards, and this will be going over the next 3 days of what kind of energy we're going to be experiencing. And we've been going through a lot of shifts, and I've been getting out of breath just by sitting down, so that to me says that I probably need to exercise more, but I digress, okay? So we're going to focus on drawing 3 cards. Okay, and I will show you these cards. Oh, look at that. I mean, you can't look at it yet, but when you do look at it, look at it. If that makes any sense. Alright, so we have this card here. This is the 2nd chakra, Archangel Michael. Okay, this is the sacral chakra. It's kind of hard to see without the glare. Or Archangel, not Michael. This is Archangel Ariel. I think you're saying that right. Or I'm saying it completely with a weird emphasis on the name. But, so this deals with defining sexuality. This deals with sexual energy. This deals with creative energy like dancing. This deals with making choices and then kind of sticking with them is the solar plexus chakra. But this is a chakra where we're definitely focused on kind of like wand energy. So if we're talking about the tarot cards, it's wand energy. Even though the 2nd chakra is water, it deals with creative forces, kind of like how fire deals with it in the tarot. So this, to me, means that we need to go into a more creative space, and we need to look at things in a way where we're not trying to block our own energy. Okay? And then we have this card here, which I was just talking about, focusing on community, and that's exactly what this card is. We have the 7 of... Well, okay, the 7. I'm used to doing tarot readings, so I was going to say the 7 of something. I have no idea what it was going to be, but 7 of community, let's do it that way. Okay, so this card to me means uniting forces, and it is showing, if I show you this card again, we see women standing around right there, and they're enjoying each other's company, and they're kind of off in their own world, they're doing their own thing, but they're together. And that's kind of what community has to be, where we let other people go, we let people do what they need to do, and then we know that we're going to come back together again. That's where community comes into play, for sure. And so then we have this one here. So we need to focus on community, finding groups, finding like-minded people. If this is online, if this is wherever it needs to be, you guys need to understand that you're not in this alone, and if you need to reach out for something, you need to reach out for help, or you need some guidance, please do that. Please understand that it doesn't make you weak to reach out, okay? We're meant to be around other people. We're meant to have a sense of community. So please reach out, and please look into why it is you're feeling a certain way, okay? And then we have this card. We have Deceit in reverse, okay, because these cards can be read in reverse as well. So when I see Deceit in reverse, to me this is self-deceit. So self-deception would be something where there's a problem going on and we're masking it. We're trying to hide from it. We're trying to say there's no other way to do it other than the most difficult way. And that just came through to me. So if there's a problem that you're having and the first thing that you thought of was a simple solution, but then you're starting to overthink it, you're starting to overanalyze it, seriously look at what it was you were thinking of first. And understand that sometimes the simplest solution really is the best. Most of the time, the simple solution is the best, and we just need to focus on why we think that the simple solution was there in the first place. Usually, when we think of a problem, the first solution that comes to us that seems really good, but then we kind of disregard, that's usually our intuition trying to say, okay, well, here you go. Here's something for you. You know, it's kind of like a dog that brings you a ball, like you're playing fetch, and that was weird. And when you do that, then you grab the ball and you just take it, and instead of holding on to it and keeping the energy, you throw it again and you keep playing fetch back and forth. But eventually, you just ignore that it's there. Eventually, there's no more communication with that inspiration or the dog that I'm talking about. There's no more communication with that. You stop playing fetch, you stop showing your playful nature to it, and then eventually you start thinking of weird solutions to problems that don't even make sense. It's like your mind goes in this analysis paralysis mode and you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that if you think of a solution, it seems simple, it seems deceptively simple. don't overthink it to the point where you're like, okay, well, I have to think of something else because this is too easy. Okay, because that doesn't make any sense. You just focus on what we need to focus on here. So that's going to be what I'm seeing here. Okay, if you guys want to work with me, you absolutely can. You can reach out on my website. I'm going to leave a link down below. This time, though, I'm focusing a lot more on energy healing and on focusing on healing kind of the parts inside of us that need to become whole again, and just coming from a place of love and understanding with that. So if you guys feel like you can trust me, and we can go into that, because when we do a session, there's no judgment, there's no preconceived anything. You can talk to me openly, let me know what's going on, and then we can focus on the issues at hand. And we can focus on doing energy clearing, emotional clearing, some physical energy healing as well. I just want you guys to know that I love you, and I really appreciate you supporting my channel. And I know there's ups and downs, but I really appreciate you guys. I want you to have an amazing day. I want you guys to take care, and I will be back on soon. But yeah, check the link down below for my website, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.